have with people fighting Bill Gates. Most of them are underachievers. Then they'll say the government did not support. The government did not support Bill Gates either. Have you forgotten that he had to drop out of school? He dropped out of school. He had to go and figure his life out and come out with blazing ideas. Someone say, no, be all of us, they use Microsoft. I can't speak for you and what you use. I speak for myself. I use Microsoft for my show every day, and I use Microsoft to send in my show prep every day. And my children use Microsoft every day when they go to Microsoft Teams to go to school. So if you don't use Microsoft, it's because you are choosing to listen to conspiracy theories. And unfortunately, I am not joining you in that department. Forgive me. We have validated 3 out of numerous cases of COVID 19 local cure, according to the Presidential Task Force. And this is a welcome development. The chairman of the PTF and secretary of the government of the Federation, SGF, Boss Mustafa, who made the announcement on Wednesday, said the validation was made by the Federal Ministry of Health after holding a virtual meeting with Nigerian researchers and scientists. Mustafa also disclosed that the cases of mysterious deaths in Kano and some other cities led to the meeting with researchers. And this is according to his letter. The occurrences in Kano and some other cities have given cause to launch our research initiatives using existing structures and systems in a manner that will build a legacy and prepare Nigeria for any future pandemic. As a measure of the importance attached to research and development of local capacity for finding a cure for COVID 19, the Federal Ministry of Health held a virtual meeting with a number of researchers and scientists with claims to cure COVID 19. Out of the numerous claims, 3 were found to deserve further investigation. And we have forwarded them to the relevant authorities for appropriate review. Similarly, efforts are being made by the Ministry of Science and Technology to subject a good number of locally fabricated COVID 19 equipment for verification and subsequent certification. So, big shout out to Nigeria. This is a huge step forward. As I speak to you now, my trust in the Madagascar medicine is very, very limited. Madagascar so far have 548 cases, out of which only 147 have recovered, and they have 2 deaths, which, as far as I'm concerned, is way below par. That's a 26% result. And their claim to have a cure, as far as I'm concerned, right now the number is 586 with 147 recoveries. That's way below par. That's not a cure, because naturally more people than 147 should recover out of 586 without any serious medication or cure. So as far as I'm concerned now, the Madagascar medicine needs to be taken back to Madagascar. Let them go and work it well. Let them do their proper testing. And while they're doing that, I'm sure something will come out of Nigeria. Many people siding with Madagascar with their cure are not even looking towards their own country. They'll rather look towards another country for a cure instead of looking within, which I find very hypocritical. I'm not Afrocentric, I'm Nigeria centric more than anything else. I want Nigeria to be able to come out with a cure. It's going to put us on the global map and it's going to push us forward. This is the first time Nigeria has the opportunity to compete in a field that is not entertainment and compete favorably. So, our local scientist, good one, 3 medicines are showing promise. That's amazing. I don't see why those people can't become billionaires over this. This is an opportunity for them to secure patents. This is an opportunity for them to take their discussions to the world. This is an opportunity for us to put Nigeria on the map when it comes to local and traditional medicine. So big shout out to us. For me, for now, Madagascar is 0. Let them throw that thing out until those people can come with a proper peer testing, and let us even see results. We're not seeing any results. So thank you very much. The same level where the Nigerian people are, is the same level Madagascar is as far as I'm concerned. And I want that cure to come from Nigeria more than anything else.
Okay, we'll be talking more of that. Oh, time check. It is 3 minutes gone past 11, and it's almost time for us to start talking about Cynthia Morgan, Jude Okoye, and of course me. But we'll be doing all of that right after we pay some bills. So keep it up. It is 91.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, absolutely wonderful. A quick set of bills, and then we come back and talk about Cynthia Morgan and Jude Okoye, my take. Hostile visitor encroaching on our space and fighting to cripple our world by stealing away our loved ones one by one, crushing our economy and setting us against each other. But no, we will fight back. We will fight with every strength that we've got. We will not surrender to things, no matter how deadly. I will assist you with a few years of Ryan. And yes, it's not always easy, but everything is going to be just fine. Stay home and stay safe. Search is the right way. Right here on Point Crossfire. Highly informative. Saying that they're going to abuse that. Part of it, politics, current affairs, part of the master. The job of the community, somebody like you and I, my husband being super great to keep information and to be able to expect justice back. Good morning, Crossfire with Sheriff. Weekdays, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Your local station for full nighttime voice and Julia info. That's all. What is home and it's the past life with no trace of passage. Yes, you can teach for birds on the sides of the hello, everyone. Hi guys, we're going in hard once we come in after this. Someone said, what's the background noise about? We're on the radio. Sorry, guys. Sorry. A lot of people are complaining about the background noise, so let me remove it. Okay. Sorry, we're live on the radio, so we're just waiting for the radio audience. Okay, I think we're back.
9.3 Nigeria Info, and this is and the Joseph that breathe and I wanted to finish but let's not go there. Welcome back this week.
All right. Hi, how are you doing? In my bid to turn up the volume and prepare everything, I think I flipped the camera so you can see me now. All right. So today we're supposed to talk about Jude and Cynthia Morgan. And here is my take. I've delayed so long in talking about this. And first of all, a lot of people need to understand what record label contracts are home and abroad. Many people, you see, sometimes a record label looks to the untrained eye as manipulative and exploitative. And record labels oftentimes look like they're extortion houses. I know quite a lot of people are familiar or think that way, but you need to understand. You see, it always looks like this little child coming from the ghetto has so much promise and talent, and A little child has so much promise and talent, and then somebody's going to come and take all that talent and put them on a 5 year contract, and by the time they're coming out of the 5 year contract, they don't have anything to their own names. Music business has more or less robbed them of everything that they had and not given them much in return. You understand what that is, and it's very sad, because a lot of people don't understand. You see, if you have all that talent, the record label is not a charity organization. Let the Red Cross blow your music. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. You come to me. If you come to me and say you are a farmer, you need me to help you, I will put an Instagram post for you for free. I'll put up something on my story for you for free. When you come up to me, I usually have a certain fee. For instance, I charge 100K per post. No negotiations. But when you come with something that is going to benefit the public, I start giving discounts. I've given up to 50% discount. You know what? I like your idea. I like what you're doing. Let me help you. Music, I do not give 1% discount. It's down. If you cannot pay, be going. That has always been my attitude to musicians, gospel and secular. I would give a young, like for instance, now somebody has an idea. He wants to make a what are these things called? Ventilator, for instance, and he has ideas. Of course, I'm not even going to charge you. I'm going to do that for you for free. You understand? You have a poultry and you want to market your poultry. You understand? I can give you a 50% discount straight without even thinking about it. And I can still add some egunja after giving you the free post. I'll do an extra tweet for you, maybe do a Facebook, mention you briefly, maybe on my YouTube channel, throw a story in, simply because I want to promote what you're doing. But when it comes to music, I spent 20 years of my life promoting music artists, and I don't have anything to show for that part of my life. I have a lot to show for other things I've done, but you see, musicians, let me tell you something. There was this particular musician that I helped. I brought on the radio, did everything for him. As soon as the guy blew, the first time I called him and I needed a favor, the guy referred me to manager. When he was coming and right, I'm telling you, I don't want to mention his name. I don't want to mention his name because he's a popular one. Big, at one time was one of Nigeria's biggest musicians at one time. So you've got to understand how that felt to me. And after that, I simply washed my hand. This has been like 8, 10 years ago. You come to me with anything music, I'll slap a bill on you, and you say, but I don't have food to eat. Sorry, go and buy food. I tell musicians that call me and say, Daddy Freeze, I need you to help me with this, blah, blah, blah. I give them a bill. Say, it's too expensive. I say, go and meet the Red Cross. Let them promote your music for you.
Wow.
Go to a charity organization. Since you're looking for charity, I don't run, I run charity for poor people. I run charity for hungry people. I run stimulus package for Free Nation members. I do not run charity for musicians. So because I've been inside, let me give you an example of how much of the music business I've been privy to. Just to show you, I want to give you a bit of a background. The day I was going for my Cool FM interview, I also went for a rhythm interview.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get a job. I'd applied to Cool FM and to rhythm. I'm talking about 2001. I slept in Two-Face Idibia's house. It was Two-Face Idibia that gave me transport money in the morning when I was going to Cool FM. And he gave me advice. You understand? He said, I'll advise here, I'll advise. Of course, I wouldn't share the advice publicly. So I've sat down with plantation boys when they were plantation boys. I was able to one day, because I'm in the house and the contract was lying around, I was able to read through their contract with Nelson Brown. Yeah. So I'm telling you, Two-Face Idibia, I was part of, not Maintain, the original group that Maintain broke out of. So I also have my own contributions in music. And up until now, initially, of course, there was a lot of bad blood, but up until now, Tolu Maintain and I were classmates. Olu Maintain was his cousin. But up till now, I still remember chatting with Olu a few days ago, and we were talking about his wonderful daughter. He just had a daughter called Dawn, very beautiful girl, and he's bonding with her right now and feeling like a daddy. You understand? So I understand the music business to a reasonable extent. I know people like Paul Play, Tony Tequila. I'm talking about the veterans then that paved the
Yeah.
groundwork for today's music. I was part of the Wizkid story. The Wizkid first album launch, I emceed with Basket Mouth. Davido's first album launch, I remember Dangote being in the crowd and me hailing him. I was the MC for Davido's what was that, his first album, the one with Dami Duro. I was the
I don't
MC.
know what album
P
I am.
Square's album, I emceed with Tools. I've forgotten which of them it was, but one of their, not one of their first, I think the one after Busybody. Then the Banji's Entertainer album, I was the MC. And you see, to work on this level with musicians, you would have some level of close proximity, especially
Yeah.
with the names there that set the groundwork. If you've ever worked with Davido, for instance, you know that you're not a child in the music industry, or the band,
Yeah.
or Two Face Adibia. I'm not mentioning little children in Ajegunle who are up and coming, even down to people like Casey Presh. Casey and I, for instance, were judges on StarQuest in 2010 with
Okay.
Paul Play, Casey, and I. So I do have my music pedigree. And I've seen a lot of people grow over the years. Of course, musicians hurdle themselves together and have and think with the same mind, the same way Big Brother housemates, when they come out of Big Brother, they all huddle together and try to form little associations and all that. But I unfortunately do not stand with the musicians. I love them. I play their music. Let me tell you my contribution to Nigerian music. If I like a Nigerian music song, I buy it on iTunes.
Oh.
That's my contribution to Nigerian music. I like a song, I buy it, or I pay iTunes. I'm on a monthly subscription, so anything I touch on iTunes, a certain percentage goes to the musician. So that way I pay the industry. But that I will promote your music for free, no. That I would do charity organization with music, no. Now, record labels, for instance, just imagine Ada how she is. She's beautiful, she's young, she has talent, she can sing, she can dance, she's won a couple of local shows, and now she wants to go to the mainstream. And then a record label meets her and decides that, you know what, Ada, we're going to invest 100 million in you. We're going to sign deals with Sony Music. We're going to make sure you are on every radio. We're going to plug you on every radio station. We're going to give you social media publicity. We're going to make noise for you. We're going to do that. And their contribution is 100 million cash. Your contribution, your contribution is your talent. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now,
Yeah.
your talent cannot be quantified, but 100 million naira can be quantified. So sometimes your talent can go from zero to 1 billion naira in a year.
Mm. True.
And your talent can go from zero to 5 million in a year.
True.
So the 100 million is a quantifiable investment. Talent is not. Do you know how many people that everybody believe that, oh, this person is so talented, this person is going to blow, oh, this person is going to this, and they never blew. And then some people blow on the radio, but do not blow financially. Their songs are hits on the radio, but They don't really get that many shows. They don't get that many performances. They don't get endorsements and what have you that the record label can actually quickly cash in on, because the record label is an investment business. For instance, if I want to buy and sell things, I put in some money and then I expect some returns. Or what do you think, Ada?
Hmm. Absolutely. I think the record label something is a thing that people should really look out for, especially signing contracts, because when you invest so much money on an artist, a talent expecting to make profit, and then years down the line, maybe the duration of the contract, you make more than that or less than that. And this is something that most artists, most record label owners, they don't, how do I even put it? They don't even seem to analyze critically. They just feel maybe this person is good this year. The thing is, the music industry changes over time. Getting to understand the music industry, the music that is actually making waves this year might not make waves the next year. And when the profit is not forthcoming, start seeing all the social media dramas and
Yeah. So I can see that you're getting you understand what we're saying.
yeah.
Um,
But before that, I think on Instagram everyone is complaining about the echo.
okay, so let me remove you from the IG then.
Okay,
It's just that IG people want to see your face. Okay. Oh, okay.
better now.
Guys, can you hear now? They will now start complaining, we can't see Ada, we can't see Ada, because you know why? Because you're talking on Instagram and on Skype at the same time. So there's a feedback.
Oh, okay.
You know? So right now they've started. We love you, Ada. I knew they were going. So that's why I kept it there. I hoped that they'll be able to figure it out one way or now bring her back.
Oh,
But I warned you. It's how it works back here. Now, here's the thing. You've got to be able to understand that if I'm investing 100 million naira in a property can go up, it can come down, but 100 million naira property in 6 months will not turn to 50 million naira. It will also not turn to 200 million naira in 6 months. Of course, it might add 30 million, lose 20 million. You understand what I'm saying? But it's money is quantifiable, property is quantifiable. You understand what I'm saying? But talent, on the other hand, is not quantifiable. You cannot put a price on talent.
true.
And when you cannot put a price on talent, it now becomes difficult to invest. A lot of people have come to me, Daddy Freeze, I want to invest in music, blah, 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 blah. I give them an overabundance of cautionary measures, and half the time when they're done, they say, you know what, if this is it, I'm not interested. I'm like, you guys need to understand what you're going into. And now the worst thing is, you see, if you invest 100 million and your artist brings in 10 million, the artist will shut up in one corner and not talk. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The artist will not talk. The artist will sit down in a corner and not say anything. The money is being burnt on his head. The moment you invest 100 million, which is an investment. If I invest 100 million, Ada, if I called you now and said, give me 100 million, I'll give you 200 million in 2 years, will you answer me?
In 2 years?
Yes.
No. That's quite a while.
Do you understand? You rather want the that in 6 months you've paid my money back and you have started entering profit. You understand what I'm telling you? It's the same thing for someone that has 100 million and puts in an artist. He wants to make money back. Nobody invests in a business that is not going to make them money back. Then you see, it now looks to you like exploitation. Tell the artist to tell his father at home to invest money in his career. At least Davido's father did it, and that's why nobody's shouting record label. Davido doesn't have record label problem. Abi?
No, not at all.
Because his father invested in his business. So if you don't have a father that can invest in your business, you know that you're going to go down the line of looking for someone to exploit you or exploit your potential in such a way that you would eventually work with that person. Then after 4 years, they sign a 4-year 3-album clause with you. Fine, do your 4 years, do their 3 albums. Then at the end of the day, there's a certain way you sign up, they spend 100 million on you, and in 1 year you've made 500 million for the record label. You can sit there, their behinds down, and say, you know what, guys, I want more money. I've brought you 5 times your initial investment. And the record label, if they have God or the Spirit of God in their hearts, they'll sit down and say, okay, you know what, instead of us paying you 10%, we're going to start paying you 30% of whatever money you make. And that's a good deal. And then you can say, okay, I want 30%, but I want my money from my shows. I want 80% on that. So there'll be back and forth. Eventually, there'll be an arrangement. So over the next 4 years, you're able to work something out that will favor both the investor and the investment. Because you need to understand that your talent is the investment. Now, another thing a lot of people need to understand is artists are very difficult to manage. You book an artist for a show, the money comes in, the artist might just decide to go on a drinking spree or go and smoke whatever they smoke and then not show up for the event or get into a fight and all that. Who bears the brunt of all these things? I was watching Rick Dees or listening to Rick Dees about 15 years ago when Rick Dees was breaking down how record labels abroad work. I don't know if that still applies in today's world. But as of back then, he said, unless you're able to sell more than platinum, if you sell gold, you'll be earning minimum wage. Because the money it takes for you to, as a group especially, imagine you have a group and you go gold. Do you understand? That means you've sold 500,000 copies. Now, out of 500,000, let's imagine each of the CDs was sold for $16. So that's $8 million. Abi, first of all, the record label takes their cut. Your cut is... So that's $8 million. So that's $1.6 million. So this is your cut. Now, guess what? Your studio recordings are going to cost you about $300,000. Guess who pays it? Not the record label. You. They pay for it upfront. But when you make your money from the album sales, they deduct it from your percentage, not from their own.
Wow.
So they'll remove 300,000 for studio work, production, all those things. That's imagine you did not feature somebody like Jay-Z or Migos or Rihanna or Beyonce or anyone that you wanted to lean on their power to boost your sales. Then there is radio promotion and all those back-end deals, which is going to cost you another $300,000. So you're left with about $1 million. Now your hotel, your champagne, all those things that you did while you're promoting your music, you're the one that's going to pay for it, not the record label. It also comes to about another $300,000. So at the end of the day, you're left with $700,000. Now, from the day you first recorded the song, and from the day that song stops earning money is a 3-year period. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if this was for a group of 4 musicians, divide 700,000 by 4, you get 175,000. Divide this by 3 years, you get $58,000 a year. That's minimum wage. If it's a solo act, you get 700,000 divided by 3, that's about 230,000 a year. That's okay. But you are not rich. You're making $230,000 a year for 3 years. And guess what? What's going to happen next? If you don't reply with another gold or reply with another platinum, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So you are not considered rich until you're able to sell like 2 million copies. You sell 2 million copies, you'd make good money. Now, that also depends on your contract with the record label. A lot of people sign anything. You know what? I'll just give you anything. Just give me the opportunity for the world to hear my music. Then they sign 8%.
Yeah.
They sign 6%. I've seen big brands who have signed 6%. Just give me an opportunity to showcase myself because they're owing money, they're bankrupt or whatever it is. So they're not expecting to come back and they now sell $10 million or they sell 10 million copies. And all of a sudden the record label is wicked. Nobody put a gun to your head. Now, Cynthia Morgan, let's ask the necessary questions. How many albums did she sell? How much money did her YouTube generate? How much money did she bring in performances? How much money did she bring in by streaming? And let's align this with how much money was invested in her by the record label. And if the record label is not making profit, like I always say, you don't like the offer the record label is giving you, go to the Red Cross, go to Amnesty International, let them match that. But if you cannot, my advice for you is simple. Go home, get your parents to raise money for you, do a crowdfunding, and then push your music by yourself. I've seen people come to Nigeria and push their music by themselves. People like Banky W came in from the States and he pushed his music by himself. Of course, he had support from his friends and they came up together and had this EME Records of a thing and it worked out well. But at the end of the day, you've got to understand that if you're coming from Ajigule, for instance, and all you have is your talent, Baba, they go buy you small because somebody is going to invest in that talent. Nobody will invest in a business and not hope to make money. People just think that record labels are charity organizations. And once again, I repeat it. You're not happy with the offer you're getting from your record label, go and meet Red Cross. They are a renowned charity organization. Let them invest in you. Go and meet the church. Let your church invest in you. Go and meet Amnesty International or any renowned charity organizations. Let them put their money on you. So, I think we can open up the phone lines.
All right, the phone number is 0700 993 993 993 0700 993 993 993.
DJ Jeff Official said she has less than 50K views and streams. Only 1.3 million on Go Gaga Remix. I have 500,000, 550,000 views on my Tonto DK interview. One interview. And I'm not a musician. You are now telling me as a musician I have 0.3 million views. What's that? That's nothing.
Hello? Seriously, you have to turn on the register and give us a call back.
Yeah, let him call back. There's too much feedback.
Yes, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Anna. Good evening, Daddy.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ben Nichols.
Yeah, were you at the event?
No, I wasn't, but I remember because I think you ran that as well, if I'm not mistaken. Then the first album was for the video, the Yomo Babalu album.
Yes, the Omo Babalo album. Yes, that was the one I anchored. Um,
Yeah, that
I,
Whiskey was superstar.
yes, Wizkid was superstar. Basketball did the bulk of the work for Wizkid, but I was on stage. I started the event while Basketball took charge of the event. But Davido, I anchored from beginning to the end. The Banjis Entertainer album, it was still me and Basketmouth. But we shared it equally. Then the P Square album was me and Tools. That one that they came with firecrackers and all sorts of magic. It was wonderful.
That was when Roadshow was 249 and you gave her a shout out that time. It was the first time I was there with her.
K Labi.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, yes, I remember. I remember going to meet Kayla back. Say, let's go on stage. Let's go on stage. And oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. I remember that now. Yeah. Wow. Oh boy, they keep track. Oh.
I did try now.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I caught cap for you straight.
We did try. Again, concerning recording the issues about the issue to be discussed from the issue of Baba time. I get that I get ready to break on the table. So it's not about worry about it. It's the moment. Mother has said, I'm making my money and I'm operating higher expenses. It's all open the other guy. Regarding this house, you don't read your contract properly. All you wanted to do was sign. Get one new kid on the block, we decided to get conversation 6 months ago before you sign with one recording. Now they are treating him well so far. I don't know what will happen later. But before you sign those stuff, I said to him, your pen is your hour. The moment you put it on that, you are gone. Once you have signed for a while, before you even correct it, you will be hard. And so for now, he's enjoying himself and body. But people don't know a lot of these things when they under this contract. See as the money that they make her back. See as this thing that they make her back and all those things. Another thing is, because a lot of people don't know that it is. I remember as far back as when you became promoted at this now. Even if I was young then, there was one period, I think you were very for AY Life. A lot of people don't remember saying like you didn't run the ads that time.
AY, most of Basketmouth's work back then, Laughs and Jams. I anchored 30 episodes of Laughs and Jams. TA live in London. You are right. We did work that period.
Exactly. So I remember one time, here's what happened though. You brought the PK the first day and Whiskey came the next day.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh boy, you did follow.
So, people don't know say some of them are not there for longer than like forever. They do this thing, so it just feel like okay, that if they maybe just come they talk with me, they talk. But they don't know say we have built this thing from the ground.
We built it from the ground, bro. I owe you a drink. This is a correct guy.
See that if it's one life I don't ever forget for AY Life. If you remember that one when you do AY Life, for instance, Sunday, probably supported by don't forget the brand.
Yeah.
The support. So a lot of people don't know this backstory. So they always respect that this is like honor. You see, your people like that, money, all of that, we push things like this, they don't do. But nowadays it's all about, I'm desperate to make the move. But go ask questions. I just shall one day ahead. Maybe the problem. So, Mama, maybe when I go do master class, if you do not 3K, 5K, 10K, maybe they can't learn. If not, there, mistakes no will stop to being made. I swear down. No worry yourself. More mistakes will be made.
Absolutely. Wonderful one. Wonderful one. Thank you very much for this. The guy took me down memory lane. I just they listen, they fantasize, they reminisce. As in, there are things that I forgot totally that he brought up. And you see, if there's anything I've learned, The sweetest record deals were the deals where the investment was made by the artist. I'll give you examples. The Banj and Don Jazzy. The Banj and Don Jazzy came with their own money, crowdfunded a bit from family and friends, floated their record label, became a hit, boom. They were making money quickly for themselves. You understand? Those were the sweetest examples of money making when it comes to a record label. Davido is another good example. Banky W is another good example. Because they understood the business side of music, not just talent. And let me also mess with you guys. Do you know that when I first started the Free Nation, I was so eager to preach the word of God because I just started getting revelations then, and I was overwhelmed. I was like, no, no, no. And my revelations, right now, I'm used to telling you that this year go rugged and the year will be rugged. I'm used to it. But then, I wasn't used to coming out and saying something, and everybody would tell me to shut up, and 3 months later, it will manifest. So I was overly excited. And I was just so eager to preach the word of God. I didn't understand that church safe now business. So there were people who understood the business and would creep into one-on-one conversations with me and say, Daddy Freeze, let's do it like this, let's do it like this. Like, you need this, we can get you funding for this, we can give you this, we can give you that. Let's do it like this, let's do it like that. And I was at a point, because I needed funding. We couldn't maintain. As of that time, I was not getting any jobs. The industry had sidelined me. Nobody wanted to touch me with a pole. I'm talking about a 3-year wilderness period. And we needed money for data and things like that. And I was actually listening to people who were giving me those very suggestions. I say, Daddy Freeze, what? Until I started seeing contracts, until I started seeing this. And luckily, it was taste buds that pulled. There were some contracts I was about to sign that I swear to God I'll be preaching for free today, and some people will be making money. And I'll have looked so stupid because I didn't want to preach for money. But they were like, no, Daddy, we'll just do it like this. We'll just do it like this. If you do it like this, this is how it will work, this is how it will work, this is how it will work. And I felt, wow, this okay, as long as we're able to run. Taste buds came last test minute, and said, no, you're not going to sign this. I fought her, and funny thing is, I fought her. It was my younger sister that had to, I've never said this before. It was my younger sister that came one day and sat down and heard the legal. I said, no, I'm not going this route. You're going to get into trouble, and they're going to change your message. Because once they start spending money on you, they're going to tell you what to preach. I'm like, but how do I fund this? How do I do this? My sister said, then if you know you cannot do it, don't do it. So I crawled back into my shell and continued. That time I was preaching with a Samsung phone that was swelling up. Who remembers that period? As in, I'll be preaching with the phone like this in one hand. The phone will begin the hot. I go change the hand. I don't go stop the preaching. So when some people come and say, Daddy Freeze, hey, what are you? You don't know the half of what we've been through. As I'll be preaching in the phone, like the phone will get hot, I'll change hand. Continue again. The phone will literally be burning my fingers. And I'll continue preaching, move to the next until I'm done with that topic. It was some people who just suggested something that, look, are you sure this is the right thing for you to do? And my younger sister, you know what my younger sister did? My younger sister said, you know what? We need to, even this Free Nation name, Free the Sheep, we need to register it because some people are going to take advantage of you. I didn't have any business know-how. I didn't understand that church was a business. Me, I just felt, okay, to give me an opportunity to preach to a larger number of people. Oh yeah, let's do it. And in all honesty, I just wanted to be heard on a global audience. I just wanted people to hear my truth. It cost me another 2 years